Okay, welcome to Ego versus Ego. Want to thank you guys for this whole journey with us for this first season right here. Ego Ferguson Sr., entrepreneur, Bahamian citizen. You got to throw that in there. Father of a great one right there. Welcome to the Ego versus Ego. And I guess you introduce yourself.
How y'all doing, man? Ego Ferguson Jr., retired NFL player, newly addition to the family, additional father, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Got me a new one to the crew. So, I like to keep it simple. New week, new shoes. Let's get to work.
So you do have first of all, let me take this opportunity to congratulate you. And this is your third child, right?
Yes.
Welcome,
yes.
Phoenix, to the Ferguson. I guess how would you put it?
Tribe.
The Ferguson tribe.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about it is, I've always been of that mindset that you can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. Let me repeat that again. You can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears, and I can proudly say, on this great oak tree right over here, I have a former NFL great, college great. I have a doctor and an inspiring attorney from this fruit. So I think it's very important that we as parents really take heed to what we brought you guys here. As a child, as my son, I never once, they said that, and I told you this many times, this is the only time that you will ever find someone that wants you to have a better life than them. Everybody else have an agenda. As a parent, your goal is to make sure that your kids, your sibling, your offsprings live a better life than you. And I think part of this whole journey with ego versus ego is to look at your kids, and I already see it in you already, the way you honing in with little E, where you're developing that. And I don't think that's something that most of us, when I say us, and this minority community, really take heed on. A lot of us are so preoccupied with social media where we are so fixed on trying to go to the Chris Brown concert. Chris, who's the new concert? Chris and Usher?
Chris Brown.
Yeah.
No, them tickets selling fast.
Cardi B tickets. But again, we got to understand that we have kids that you want to drive into. Because I'm going to tell you right now, me personally, and I am getting older. I don't think sometimes I lose track of that.
You finally realizing that?
and I don't plan to be in a nursing home. So my goal is to make sure that my kids are strong enough to be able to take me to that final destination in style and comfort. So it's either going to be you and one of the kids or some young chick, one of the two, going to take me to that final destination right there. When we talked about this right here, when you, and this is how I raise you, do you ever think about that as a new father and an existing father? How do you look at that stuff?
Man, it's crazy because I feel like sometimes the information that's given is not processed until the experience happens. And what I say, sometimes you have to go through a lot of stuff to actually understand what the information that you're given. And the perfect example, until I got kids, I couldn't understand a lot of stuff that you would say, you know what I mean? When you get kids and you have those moments, especially like, shout out to my wife for the last moment. We had a beautiful moment, essentially bringing in our baby girl, Phoenix. But like when you have these moments, man, it just shows you a different outlook on life. And it takes a part of you and it brings it into this world. And I think when you see that, it just gives something different to you, a different taste, touch, a different energy, essentially, what you're looking at, you know. And I think the biggest thing is to be the example that they see, you know, to be the example that they look up to is everything. That's why I commend you and my mother, because y'all gave me a good example to look up to.
That's deep. And I just want to encourage you to continue on that path that you're going into, where you really pour in to those kids. Because again, either you're gonna pour into them or the system, the system going to pour into them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to. But again, when I go back to this new world that we're living in, I know you want to be very thankful to the technology and the advancement of science, the advancement of technology. But whenever there's a good, there's a bad, and the bad to it is, I think a lot of us out there get caught up in the social media world where we forget the core nature of, and I think also the system is designed to get us to get away from what the core nature is. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think it's technology, but it's also convenience.
Yes.
A lot of things is done for convenience, and we don't even realize it. You know, when we talk about the food that we order, the things that we give kids, you know what I mean? It's usually for our convenience to get a break, to have a moment. And I think that's the biggest thing that we have to kind of look at, essentially, is that we're not just doing it but so that we need this, essentially. We're doing it because we're trying to develop and grow something.
You know, some fucked up shit about this. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and this is weird. I've never experienced this. I am 57. Ooh. At 57 years old, I still look kind of pretty.
A year from 60.
Still looking kind of sharp, right? At 57. But at 57 years old, I don't even have an Amazon account. I've never ordered anything from Amazon in my life. At 57. Now, let me take this on one further. I have a friend of mine. She's very, very beautiful. She's that. But every decision that she makes, she runs it through ChatGPT.
Man.
Every decision.
You'll be surprised how much ChatGPT got the world in the headlock right now.
So, dude, when I'm telling you this right now, here's a weird thing. Every decision that she makes, she runs it through fucking ChatGPT.
And that's the scary part. I compare ChatGPT to like a drug. It's going to give you what you want. You keep going back to the well, it's going to give you what you want to keep you coming back to the situation. A lot of people can't even process that.
So my thing is, what happens when that internet, Iran fucking cut that clip on that fucking the wires, then we don't have no ChatGPT, and you don't have no internet, you don't have no map. What happens to our society at that point?
We crumble.
Think about this. If this is not, and here's what, all of our friends, they do the same thing. They run every decision, everything through ChatGPT. What happens when ChatGPT is no longer available? Or when ChatGPT say, hey, we're going to take control of everything you do right now, since you rely on me that much. We're going to come to that point.
I take it back to the simplicity of stuff, right? How many people know how to write cursive right now?
Not too many. Not too many.
These are the things that we're going away from our hands being value to going to somebody else having value. I think that's the scariest part of the situation, because it's like we're taking the value out of our hands, we're giving it to somebody else, and we run into that.
I think when me personally, from our experience, when you start talking about I think one of the greatest thing that I think I can apply to our whole existence, you and I, is that journey. We've been through so much fucking journey. It's been. And I can pinpoint different points in times that I can say, you know, this, that. I can remember we threw your Bears rookie party. And the rookie party is, for those of you who are not aware of what a rookie party is, Tell me what a rookie party is, Jay.
I don't know what a rookie party is. Hey, look, I didn't know you was going that way.
We gonna touch subjects.
Hey, listen, man, what I can say about the situation is, it was a great experience. It was a learning experience.
But at that point in time, I knew when we threw that rookie party, and those of you who have never experienced a rookie party, it's something. But we had about 20 athletes, 20, 30. How much do you think we had? It was deep.
Hey, what's the name of this episode?
Well, I told you it was gonna get a little.
Where we going at right?
We got to throw a little freaky right here. But that rookie party right there, you know, I'm reaching this to see the difference in social media and the way you were raised compared to the others. So that rookie party, let's say, I'm going to say we had about 25 athletes.
Give or take
25 athletes. and we have a big old mansion, and we doing it up, living life. So this is a rookie first year in the NFL, and they want to just experience themselves. And as I'm interacting with the different players, and I threw the party, so I'm interacting with different players. At that point right there, I knew you were different. Everybody's coming to me, hey Pops, I need this. Hey Pops, I need that. And you just did your thing. And I saw the difference between the 25, and just like as we were driving up here today, as we were driving by each one of these different churches, what I say, all these are places for sheeps.
Yeah.
At that party, I knew you was a wolf and not a sheep. You know what I'm saying? And I think the biggest concern right now with this whole social media world is it creates a lot of sheeps.
A lot of sheep. I do agree with that. And I think the hardest part is like, and inside of this world, is like so many people want to go viral, so want to be seen, want to be validated inside of social media, but not inside of themselves. If you find validation inside of yourselves, you don't need social media, but we have it backwards essentially. We're looking for social media to validate who we are. We should be validated before we even step our foot into social media, to be honest with you.
I saw an article recently with this young lady that this black young lady, she got married, she got engaged to this Caucasian male, and she went to Africa, and for this whirlwind tour, and she's a big influencer, and if you look at her Instagram page, you see a lot of bags, purses, the boat trips, the resorts, and all these different things. And you look at her social media, you think she's living a life.
They call that the usual suspect.
That's what it is.
That's what they call it now. There's a usual suspect. You know what I'm talking? You could tell from the social media how they living.
So now she if you look at her social media, she's living life.
Got it all.
Living life. Now here's the worst thing. Unfortunately, she, on her trip to Africa, she quote unquote committed suicide. So she committed suicide on a quote unquote, but now her family they have a GoFundMe page. Where do you go from living this extravagant life on social media to now you have a GoFundMe page just to bury you? That's such a big disconnect.
Yeah, but I think the biggest disconnect is that people believe social media more than the reality of the situation.
Yes.
We're looking at the bags and the trips more so than the GoFundMe. And I think that's the problem. We'd rather look good online than actually good in real life.
But sometimes I take I'm still, I guess I'm single, I guess. I'm not sure what kind of category you can classify me in right now, but
You're confused.
I'm confused. But when you do go out on dates, I can recall I have a young lady I was dating or seeing, whatever the case may be, and every date have to be Montrose, Fleming's, or some high.
Did you just call Maestros Montrose?
Oh, what's it, Mastros?
Maestros.
It's Mastros.
Yeah.
It's Mastros. So everything has to be Mastros, Fleming's, something high end. And the whole fucking date is
pictures.
Taking pictures. And I'm like, what?
You living in the Matrix. We just talked about this, though. We literally just had a conversation about the Matrix. We just talked about it this morning. Most people living more for the Matrix than they're living for reality.
So that's going to transition us to, I can recall when you were dating this young lady right here. Beautiful young lady. Well, you've seen her, whatever the case. You know where I'm going with this right now, right? I think it's a very interesting subject right here.
These transitions are wild.
I like the transitions.
I'm going to be honest.
I can remember the young lady you were dating, and you told me a story, and you can expound on this a little further deeper. It's like,
oh, wow.
When you look at her Instagram, it was like she was popping.
This is crazy.
Instagram was popping. Yeah, I like the Instagram. Damn, she looks. That's what's up. And you said you went over to her house. I thought it was gonna be a little different today.
Hey, you throwing some curveballs on this thing, I see.
So tell me exactly. Go into more detail. Go into more
That's
detail about that
crazy.
movie, please.
Listen, that ain't even the best part about the situation, though.
Oh,
Like,
it gets better.
it gets way better.
Oh,
Like,
please do share.
listen, imagine you seeing a situation where you seeing online, right? You know what I'm talking about? Where you looking online, it's just like a, everything's exotic, extravagant, special. You see the yachts, you see the cars, you see the clothes, the bags, and then you get picked up, and then you like, a motherfucker, you need a screwdriver to change the motherfucking gears. You know what I mean? Like, shit's crazy. Like, I'm trying to tell you, it's
What kind of car was it?
I ain't about going to that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we ain't calling no names.
Hey, maybe a
Maybe
Pontiac. You know what I mean? Maybe a Pontiac. I don't know. But listen, it's so wild when you see the situation because it's just like the effort, the amount of attention, the time that's dedicated towards social media versus actually getting life together. It's just like, it's alarming. And it was like, I'm looking at a situation where I'm just like, damn, well, if I couldn't see, I wouldn't see. And that's what social media do. It blinds you from what's actually reality.
I can recall I was dating this young chick. I'm not gonna call no names, but and you know me, I live on the beach. I live in a $2 million mansion on the beach at the time. I got Ferraris, I got Lamborghini. I have all of these at my my will, and of course we have doormans at the place I stay. You know, private elevator. You know, I own.
We can get into your
My word, right? Usually I have on the corner of the beach. I got a panoramic view.
There you go.
Of the whole ocean. And I was dating her, and she was into social media and all this. So she was into that. And she for some, what's weird about this is like going like 6-7 months into our relationship. And for the life of me, she felt that all of what she was doing in social media was what she was. I'm an influencer. I was like, listen here. What they see is the beach house, the exotic cars, and they see the doorman. It's not your social media. It's what the reality is. And the reality is, I'm out there motherfucking grinding. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing Instagram about me.
Yeah,
but
you
but,
like one of them motherfuckers that be on the boat on the side of the picture that they don't see with the belly out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like by the next to the girl. Like
that Chris Brown.
when you see when you see the Dubai picture, that's you on the side. You know what I'm like, hey, the camera just never turn around.
That's weird. And this is how our social media. So, you know, this is gonna transition into. I know the last time we met, I think we touched on the subject about women, and I had a whole episode by myself where we went through that whole episode. I think you and I had one more episode, but I think there was a lot that we left untouched, untethered. So I think this is an opportunity for us to close off this first season, because I'll tell you what, first of all, I think this has been a fabulous first season, and I think I'm gonna let you know, guys, there's a lot more to go. This is an adventure. This is a journey. So I hope you guys continue to follow us. So please subscribe, log in, and this is gonna be very interesting. So last time we talked about women, and I want to close off the season 1 about this topic of women, because it plays a very important role in both of our lives. I know me. I guess I would be considered a womanizer. I would honestly say I'm a womanizer. I'm a converted womanizer. How's that?
That's a first.
I'm growing in this whole process.
I ain't gonna lie to you, guys. That may be the first person I ever heard in my life him say he's a womanizer.
I'm growing now. I'm growing. And we're gonna get to the point where I'm telling you why I've come to this point where I've realized who I am. I've always been attracted to beautiful women. My question for you, we're gonna start this whole conversation about. I'm gonna tell you right now, the woman that you call your love inspiration, your mother, she is my first love, and I want you to explain to me. And this is what is not how would I put it? It's almost like of before and after, because the woman that I see right now and the woman that is almost like we went through 3 different phases, where that first phase was lust, love, and pure love. The first woman I truly, one of the first women I truly loved. And then through your high school and your career, there was a shift. And then there is the woman that I have right now. And I always wonder, say, God damn, why couldn't I have this woman right here throughout the whole existence?
She probably thinking, why couldn't I have this nigga right here?
That's another thing too,
throughout the
also.
whole existence.
So my question for you is, how did you experience the different shifts, or how did you experience these different shifts? And because there's the different shifts in the woman that your inspiration. So how did you go through the different shifts?
I think that's a great topic that you just touched on. I think I touched on it kind of earlier. When information gets there before the experience happens, there's a delay in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times, because we're so young, when you think about y'all relationship, y'all was younger. When you think about my experiences when I was younger, the information was given, but the experiences wasn't present yet.
Mm-hmm.
So until the actual experience meet the information, that's when you have the clarity of the situation. I think that's the biggest thing.
Because I know for you and I, and this is back to the women again, a lot of your viewpoint or vantage point of me was guided through those shifts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was what threw me off was where there were times where you can't remember certain things about what we experienced because of the different viewpoints that you were being fed.
It's different viewpoints and it's trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you start to understand trauma, right, a lot of us go through it, but we can't explain it. We can't decipher it. We don't know where it starts from, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you have those traumas so early in life, it kind of overshadows the other experiences of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing that I noticed that I went through life and I done developed, seen, and able to be on the right side of somebody and the left side of somebody, that you don't realize that, damn, you can't choose the thing that may overshadow this person, mm-hmm. or may undershadow this person, or this person may see that motivates them, or it may be the thing that doesn't motivate them. It's for their picking.
Mm.
So as a child, it's not like you can't choose the moments that you be like, this is serious, this is not serious. It's for my choosing, my picking. This is my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes the experience happens after the information. I think that's a lot of things that I think a lot of people can't grasp. It's like, I may be told something, but until I experience something, it hits me into a whole different level.
Yeah, because I think right now, when I sit back and I analyze, and this is analyzing within the same context of women, right? I'm a mama's boy.
Shit, me too.
And so I raised a mama's boy. I just raised you how I am. So we both are mama's boys. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm raising a mama's boy.
And you raising a mama's boy. Yeah, whoosh, God damn, you damn sure raising a mama's boy.
All right, now.
You are raising a mama's boy. So when we go through the whole pretext of mama's boy or being raised, I sit back many of nights, trust me, many of nights, and I was like, if I can have this person during our heyday, we would have done so much different. It'd have been so much different during our heyday.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, shit. Sometimes I was like, I wonder if you ever go through that thinking, it's like.
Absolutely, but I think this is where you can't see. It's like, in my situation, I look at it the opposite. If I can keep this intact for the heyday, then you're going to have that. More for the disaster that happens before the heyday comes, essentially. So
now let me send it back to you right now. And this is something that I implore you as a father to a son, when you're raising your kids, where we sit here and we discuss, looking at women, looking at choices, holding ourselves accountable for some of the things that happen. Especially when I started to look at E, and I want to thank you for continue the legacy of the ego.
Mm.
I want to continue to thank you for that right there, because that meant the world to me. I don't give a fuck what happened. So you named him after us right here. That was one of the greatest things that ever. I want to thank you for that right there. But my thing is, if your mother and I was on the same page throughout your high school and your professional career, I think things would have turned out a whole. Not saying things turned out bad, but when I look at how we are right now,
it's a ladder instead of a step. I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Please explain.
When you say a step, we stepping up to a different level. A ladder, we're pulling people up. Everybody has the blueprint to get up the ladder at that point.
Mm-hmm.
The step is one man's taking. And I think that's what I've seen. We was able to take a step. If we was a unit, we'd have been able to build a ladder.
So my thing is, and I literally, my goal, when you had Phoenix a month ago, I said, you know what? I want to live another. I'm 57 right now. I want to live another 25 years to see how, and I say we are village. You know, you and I, how do we do with E? How do we do with Farrah? How do we do with Phoenix? How do we take our experiences? Because right now, I'll tell you, if I have the red that we have right now, we'd have been unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? But the trauma and the thing to get to that point right now. So now I want to make sure that E have that foresight, that background, that support, so he doesn't go through what we had to go through. That make sense?
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing is we looking at him like he can determine a tree.
Mm-hmm.
A tree determines a tree, so that means I have to be the example to show
the seed, of course,
how to actually be a tree. And I think that's the biggest thing as we see the situations, like we are so blessed and so grateful for the experiences of life, right? Where give you opportunities to see maybe the first play, the second play, the third play again that I may not have got a comprehension of for the first time. I may not understood for the second time, but God may give it to me for the third time for me to actually see. And I think with our kids, with these situations that we're blessed with, you know what I mean, it gives me a different vantage point to look at, essentially, to see from a different set of eyes. Like I said, until I had kids, I could hear you, but I couldn't see what you was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When I had kids, I was able to see, damn, this is what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
If it would have wrong, we'd have been on and popping right there.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen right now. You know, one point on that, right?
But I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, man, God give us these opportunities for everybody to be grateful, to be understanding, to comprehend that nobody's perfect. And we all trying to develop and to be something for somebody else. Whether it's your seeds, whether it's the kids that you are coaching, whether it's the next person that you're trying to impress, we all trying to be something.
I think with my perspective, I think right now, back in those days right there, we didn't really have social media. It was just the beginning of social media. And so, but money was an influence.
Always been.
So money, I think social media has replaced money to a certain, to a major extent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So back in our days, there was a shift when that money came in. It's a difference. So now we're going to fight about money, yada, yada, yada. Now you have a combination of social media and money that's going to separate a family. And then, of course, the system pushed that down to make sure we feed that separation right there.
And we taught independency.
Correct.
We taught you can be the one by yourself. You know, we taught to kind of separate more than be unit. I think that's the biggest thing is what we're taught to miss up also. That's what we're seeing. And so, like, you got to go against the things that are being shown to you on a daily basis.
We just had recent, I guess this past weekend, we had the NFL draft, and you have a lot of kids getting ready to go into new experiences, new money.
Ooh. Boy, I know. I know.
New money, new experiences, and it's one of the proudest moments. And even you've been out of the league. How long you been out of the league now?
Almost 9 years when you think about it.
9 years.
2026.
2026. So it's 9 years you've been out of the league. And I tell you what, when I look back at your whole career and everything, one thing I've always expressed to you is that not only did you, because there's a lot of folks that, how many people have played NFL football?
Man, when you start to really think about the numbers for athletes that actually suited up in one NFL game, it's almost, I think, and don't quote me on this, but it's less than 30,000 people, I want to say, that actually suited up for one NFL game.
So when I look at you and I'm saying your experience, you came into the league and you was a starter. So I always tell you this, and I keep pushing to you, that you're a gladiator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you have accomplished more, not only that you made it to the league, you was a starter. So that takes you to another level right there. And you have a lot of, and I want to congratulate all those young kids that are just getting ready to go into that journey. Yeah. And that's a new journey. But when we start tying that with one of the most prominent thing, I'm gonna tell you right now, me personally, the most prominent thing for me, I've always told you was manage pussy. If you can manage pussy, you're gonna be successful. Yeah. So a lot of these kids, unfortunately, a couple of them got to manage dicks, but anyway. But oh my God. I don't know if we can go that direction, right? You know, this is a new world we're living into right now.
I don't know what we got going on today,
but my thing, if you can manage that process right there, you should be successful. Now, with you in your career, you had quite a few adventures in managing women. So please explain to me your pro day and your draft. And I want to tell you what my experience was with your pro day and your draft.
All right, so first of all, shout out to the guys that just got drafted on. Their lives done changed, situations done changed, new environments, new situations. Man, salute to you guys. The biggest thing I could say, a piece of advice, is don't change who you are through the process. And what I mean by that, if you're a simple guy, stay a simple guy.
But what about the BBLs and?
I'm trying to tell you. I'm gonna give you a word of advice. Listen, I'm trying to beat you before you get to that point. If you like them short, and keep them short and net. You know what I mean? If you like them with a big chest, keep them with a big chest. My biggest thing is just don't change who you are through the process, because there's gonna be a lot of things that's pulling on you in the midst of. You know, a lot of new people, a lot of new faces, new money, new opportunities. You know what I mean? And it's hard. That's the first thing I'm saying. It's hard. It's definitely something that you probably never experienced before, something that hits you out of left field. It's like almost like a rock coming out the galaxy and hitting Earth. You don't see it too often.
Vibration?
It's definitely different. And it's a new world for you. And so you got to get accustomed to the world, but understand who you are in the midst of trying to accustomate yourself to the world. With my situation, when you talk about women, when you talk about pro day and the draft and all these different things and situations, boy, look at, I got caught up. I can put my hand up and be like, yeah, I was one of the ones that get caught up. You taking accountability? You know what I mean? Oh man, listen, absolutely. I was caught up in a situation in a web that I couldn't get out of at first. You know what I mean? Not understanding who I was, not understanding the importance of what I was trying to do. I'm just living naive, underestimating the situation, not really calculating the importance of every situation. So when my situation came, you know what I mean, I was kind of knocked off guard, hit from left field, or blindsided essentially. I'm going into my pro day looking to perform for one of my biggest job interviews of my life, you know. And
a huge interview, especially given the fact that what you were going into, where the school trying to force you to come back.
Oh man, listen, it was crazy, man. Listen, you see the writing behind the wall when you start to go against what the program wants, you know what I mean? And
you went against the program.
Yeah, definitely not.
And that's a major program too.
Not trying to, you know what I mean? Just, you know, filling myself out and understanding who I am, trying to make the best decision for myself. And then obviously everybody didn't feel the same way. And so with my situation, it was crazy. You know, I had a situation where me and a young lady, we had intercourse.
Fuck.
Yeah, we had intercourse. That's what intercourse is called. That's crazy.
We'll make sure.
Well, we had intercourse, and unfortunately, that led to a child. A child I didn't know about, a child that was brought to my attention the day after I got drafted. So it was kind of a shell shock for me in the situation because I didn't expect for a situation like that to pop up before I was chasing my dreams or for the situation to happen the way it happened because I felt like if I kept it real, the world would kept it real, essentially, naive to the situation.
Let me cut you off right there. Not the day after you got drafted. You got tagged the night that you got drafted.
Yeah.
Not the day after. We got that phone call that night of your draft party. Now here's the weird thing about it is during your pro day, which is about 2 or 3 weeks before the NFL draft.
Yeah, it was probably like April 14th or the 9th or somewhere before that. Our draft was like the May 8th through 10th weekend.
And I'm trying to push you. And during your pro day, she's sitting next to me.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. You was trying to make me take pictures with her. You was telling me that I'm tripping. And listen, you couldn't read the room.
I couldn't read the room.
I felt the negative energy coming from the solar system.
And I'm saying, the whole thing about this, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to figure out, why are you tripping?
Yeah.
And go ahead further.
Yeah, it was a reason why. I knew it was God talking to me from another dimension, telling me something ain't right with the situation. And when you think about it, it was like she was giving all this information, all this detail about what you need to watch out for while she was slowly just creating her web for me to fall into.
She was telling me that as, she's a pre-law student, and she's telling me that, hey, you need to watch out for these gold diggers. Yeah. These women gonna do this. These women gonna do that. And I really liked her as a person.
I know
she's a pre-law student that driving a Mercedes,
a vintage Mercedes, boy.
And she's telling me all the different things I need to sign off on. And it's like, and then she was telling you, and what's happening with you? It was like, and you came to me, it was like, Dad, what the hell are you doing sitting next to her? What's going on with her? I'm like, Jay, just calm down. And I'm still trying to figure out why are you tripping and shit. But go ahead.
That shit was crazy. When I think about it, the situation was off the wall. It just showed me that sometimes, like, you can go into a situation where you don't know, but everybody else know. Mm-hmm. And it ain't no excuse when you don't know, because when they trying to get you, they gonna get you. And it's coming from every point of view. It ain't like you can be like, it only happens in here, it only happens there. It can happen anywhere. And I wasn't acceptable for it. And the next nigga watching or listening, you not acceptable to it. As you go up, there's more crabs pulling on your legs, I promise you.
So now we go from the pro day that I sat down with her. She spent the whole entire pro day with us together.
Yeah.
And she's telling me, giving me all this advice. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to take the advice. Me being I'm new to this whole situation also. So we go into draft. Now, at the draft, here's the weird thing about this. I went to your draft party. Mm-hmm. And we got the phone call. Chicago Bears selected you. And then within a space of 35, 40 minutes, you got another phone call. Go into that phone call you got.
When I think about the situation, I feel like we have maybe a different point of view of the situation when it happened. Mm-hmm. I remember getting a call on Thursday about the draft, Chicago picking me up, mm-hmm. and coming back home that following weekend right before I had to leave to go out to Chicago and being at my mother's house. And on Tuesday, sitting on the couch, I get a phone call. Now, anybody that been through the draft process, you understand, your phone ringing off the hook. It's 1,000 motherfuckers want to tell you thank you, congratulations, this, that, the third.
I'm your cousin.
Your brother, cousin, sister, mother, whoever popped out the womb. It's 1,000 motherfuckers reaching out to you. So you kind of looking through the phone, but you're not really answering the phone like that type shit. When I decided to answer the phone, there was a number I couldn't recognize, and the conversation just went from congratulations to your daughter's proud of you. Now, me, I'm everybody hitting with the same answer, essentially like, thank you, hang the phone up, thank you, appreciate it, hang the phone up. So when the conversation happened or it hit me, I'm just like, what do you mean my daughter? Like, what we talking about here? Like, hey, stop playing with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who on the phone type stuff, but like, yeah, you tripping. And the situation.
Did you feel like it was a prank call or something like this?
I thought somebody was playing with me. I thought Ashton Kutcher was going to come out the background and say it's punked or something. Because I'm not thinking this. You got to think I ain't see no pregnancy. I ain't see none of this stuff. I didn't see none of the signs, symptoms, or anything, or been told anything. So for me just seeing you at Pro Day, for me to tell me that you had a child and that the child's 6 months old, it was like, the math wasn't mathing in my head.
The math wasn't mathing?
It wasn't mathing. I'm just saying, like, you at my pro day, you telling me about all these different situations, and then at my draft day, you tell me I got a 6-month-old daughter. That's a lot of time in between for you to tell me about a child. And so when that situation happened, it just was it hit me from left field because, you know, it's like going from the highest of the mountaintops and being able to actually say you reached a dream to the uncertainty of like, damn, did I have a child, don't have a child? And then you start to question yourself, even though you know the truth of the story, you will question yourself about, damn, have I not been there for a child? How can I not be there for a child that I didn't know about? You know what I mean? These are the things that go through your mind in the midst of. It was a roller coaster ride.
I can tell you right now, when I spoke to her, when you told me, hey, Dad, I got a phone call and this young lady saying that I'm a dad. And I'm like, give me that phone number. You know, because at that point I was playing the role of not only your father, I was playing the role of your manager also. So I called her up and I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, yeah, I had a baby. And I'm like, what do you mean you have a baby? Are you pregnant? Or she's like, no, the baby's like 6 months old. I'm like, 6 months old? What do you mean you 6 months old? I said, well, why you never call me, tell me, you know, you and I have open communication. Why you never told me about the baby and all this stuff? She said, it was none of your business. It was Ego Jr. is the father. I said, oh, really? I said, well, first of all, we haven't seen you in about 7-8 months. So as far as I'm concerned, it could be Coach Les Miles. It could be anybody to coach his baby. And she sent me the picture, and I was like, oh, shit. When I saw the picture, I'm like, oh, shit. But these kids that are going into the league right now.
You can't see it coming. It hit you from left field. I'm trying to tell you, it's a crazy experience.
And so now I'm asking you this open in front of the world right now. At no point in time did you know she was pregnant or anything like this?
Never. Not one time. I couldn't have sniffed that if I wanted to.
Really?
There was no inclination of her being on campus, around the campus, at the facility, in the facility. Nothing. Like literally, it's like it was like a ghost. It's like seeing Casper for the first time. It's like when I seen her the first time, I was like, damn, where the fuck you been at? That's my first impression, literally.
And all this time she was carrying your baby.
But this is like when they talk about the difference between first-degree murder and second-degree murder. It's premeditated, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, the stuff that happened to me is, you can't say it was by coincidence.
Premeditated.
You had to think about what you were doing. For the baby to be 6 months old for the first time, for me to figure out who the baby, it was my baby, that means that there had to be time in between the 6 months of her being born, the 9 months of you being pregnant, the time you found out, like, all these different situations where you have time to actually make a decision, and you decide not to tell me until after I got drafted.
And I know when I spoke to her about it, I'm like, why did you not tell us about the pregnancy?
Yeah, why?
Why did you not involve us in this whole process? And her answer was to me, I don't know what her answer to you was. Her answer to me was, I wanted to make sure that I didn't want to be a distraction of him going into the league. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything with the child?
Think about that. What that has to do with the child? What is it? I made it to the league or not, I was going to be the child father if you knew who the father was. I just think it was so many different situations I wasn't privy to in the midst of, that when I came into the situation, it was so many holes that I was poking at that time where it didn't make sense. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Who would want to go through this by yourself? Who would want to do that if somebody wasn't present?
So it had to be premeditated.
I mean, if you look at the different situations and the things you got to choose from, only thing come to my mind is premeditated murder. But again, we're not, and this is the thing I tell all athletes, when you coming from where we coming from, usually coming from small towns, poverty, different situations where you the first one to do something, you the first one to be something, you the first one to go somewhere. So you're not thinking about this. You're not looking at the situation like, damn, people are out to benefit off of who I am. I think in one episode I said, when you going to hunt and you start to be hunted, that's when a problem actually presents itself. And that's the first thing I noticed. I'm being hunted while I'm thinking I'm a hunter.
That's crazy. I mean, literally, and then you have a lot of and here's a sad thing about this. I'm going to throw this another thing. A lot of these athletes have been cuddled. When I say cuddled, their entire careers. from Pop Warner to middle school to high school to college, and they're not being exposed to. And again, there's a lot of decisions. And here's the thing, I'm going to lean more on the athletes because again, you guys have been cuddled. You don't have too many situations where you have a father and a son where you have open dialogue and you and I are vibing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys are going into the situation with no fathers.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you talked about it earlier, though. When you think about it, it's like these situations are not really meant for these athletes. The attention is not set for the athletes to grow and develop through the process. Mm-hmm. So the first time somebody recognizes, it's not recognized from your growth and development, it's recognized from your athletic ability. Mm-hmm. That's what they look at. Oh, he's an athlete. I can take him to be this. I don't care where he's at mentally. I don't care how much development is put into him. He's an athlete. I can make him into this. And what happens is as I'm developing the athlete, I'm leaving the person behind.
That's and again, I can remember when you and I went to USC for a visit, and I met with the great Coach Pete Carroll, and he pulled me aside, and we had about 30 or 40 athletes, and he pulled me aside, and he pulled me aside in his room. He wanted to had a one-on-one meeting with me, and he said, "Mr. Ferguson," I say, "I'm gonna tell you this straight up." He said, "We don't go east of the Mississippi to recruit any athlete. So if we're recruiting your son and he's in Maryland, that means he's special. Not only is he special, the fact that you are here even makes us want him even more." Because he said, I go through this process about 3 or 4 times a week where I have 40, 50 athletes here. And he said, I can count on my hands the amount of fathers that's in this meeting right here. So he said, so that puts us in a separate category right there, number one. And so the others, the sheeps, they're being preyed on these women, these families, day in and day out, without any advisement. You have a lot of these guys who don't have a father, who don't have somebody there to sit back and help guide them with these decisions that they're making. And most of the times, they're making the decision on their dick or their emotion, their hormones.
The struggle that they're going through, the situation that they're presented with at the time. I think the biggest thing that I noticed through this process is they done seen more of us than we done seen of them.
Yes. That's the sad thing about this whole situation right there, where they're coming at you guys in droves. So how do you defend that?
Think about the numbers they tell you. The first day you get there, they tell you out of 22 of y'all, 7 may make it. I mean, for you to have those numbers, you done had to do the data. In order for you to do the data, you done did the test. And I think that's the biggest thing.
So they know this shit.
They know it before we get there. And that's the hardest part to realize, because you feel like because you done beat the odds in your situation, you're a one-on-one. Now somebody telling you that your one of one is really a one of none.
And that's deep right there. So I mean, through that whole situation right there, you talking about your rookie year. You spent half of your rookie year, half of that year flying back and forth to Miami going to court.
Yeah, Miami and Baton Rouge.
Texas.
Baton Rouge back to Miami to Texas. Yeah, I definitely was going back in court just defending myself. It happened so fast with the situation. Like I said, one minute I'm getting drafted, the next minute I'm finding out about a child. Before I can process what was going on, I'm in court for a deposition about where I'm from, essentially. Not realizing that these situations play a part in how much money somebody get for child support. So it's like from every step of the way from that point forward, it's like I'm defending myself from somebody trying to get more out of me, essentially.
I can tell you right now, when I first got, because again, I've been through the whole process of child support and all that stuff right there. And this goes for a lot of you getting ready to go into the league and all this stuff that's in the league right now. One of the first things that I met was the fact that different states have different thresholds as far as child support is concerned. So a lot of these women, they already know this whole process already.
Games are put on to them.
The game's already
there.
Think
about it though, with my situation. Who was housing the situation when she was having a baby? Who was giving the information when she was going through the process? Who was giving her the birdie in her ear to be like, do this or do that? There had to be somebody in the play.
So my whole thing is, for you guys that are going through this whole process, welcome to the NFL. They're coming at you.
early. Well, if you looking up now, they probably already at your back door. And that's just the truth. You might have to weed some stuff out that's already around you. Because they see us before we see them.
So my thing is, I just hope a lot of these guys take the opportunity and reach out to. I hope the father's still around, or if not around, get him in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or somebody that you can lean into, a Coach Tillman or somebody that you can relate to. Because again, I love the women, but they're only gonna give you a perspective from a woman's perspective, and whatever. I don't give a damn how you look at it. Women take care of women.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to find a strong man to help to guide you through these processes. Would you agree or disagree?
Absolutely, because I think the biggest thing is experience is the best teacher. So like I said, a lot of us are coming into a new experience with no guidance of a situation. Most people are not familiar with it.
How much did it cost you? I'm telling you right now.
Boy.
Your rookie year.
About over $250.
About $250,000 to fight. Just to pay a decent amount of child support. Because I know when she first asked, she asked for $12,000 a month.
She first asked, she asked for $60,000 for back pay.
For back pay, $60,000 back pay. And this is your first year in the league.
Before I got my first check.
Before you get your first check. That's crazy.
That's different. It's
it's
the biggest thing. Like I say, with athletes that's going into these situations that are changing roles, that are changing environments, man, you just got to keep your head on the swivel and understand that when you build a team, it's to help you alleviate these type of pressure situations. And so you need to use your team in the midst of what you're going through. Like use the people around, use the situation, use the advantage, because you can't see everything.
Correct.
And you'll be a fool to think that you can see everything. You can do it by yourself. There's so much stuff that's changing at one time. So build your team around you that can help you in the midst of, because some shit gonna happen. I promise you.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to thank you guys again. Thank you for that. We did our first season right here, and looking forward to season number 2. Again, subscribe, link, and follow us. And we're going to start going to journey number 2. That's going into
Ego versus ego on the road.
On the road, Hargrave Military Academy, and getting into LSU. But I want to thank you guys for joining us, and I really appreciate your support. And let's keep this thing moving. Thank you, guys.